Hi everybody, it's Nell Thames with Stamp with Nell. Today we're going to do a video for the Rustic Crate Stamps and Dies with All About Autumn DSP. We're going to make an everyday card. I have David with me. He's behind the scenes working the cameras, so hopefully everything is working. I see I'm a little crooked here. So I do have printed instructions. You can get these on my blog. My blog is now, it's changed. It is now stampwithnell, N-E-L, 1L, .com. Stampwithnell.com. So you should see that referenced also on my Facebook page at stampwithnell.com. YouTube is stampwithnell.com. So you may still see the Auntie Nellie stuff somewhere, but I made a change to go with Stamp with Nell because I was feeling like I love being Auntie Nellie to my nieces and nephews, but I wanted to be Nell to the rest of the world. So there we go. So the instructions are on my blog at stampwithnell.com. And you can print them out. That's what I did with these. It'll give you all the assembly instructions plus the blog with some extra pictures on how I made it. Speaking of the blog, this is the card we're making. It is, here we go, an everyday card. Well, I threw that right under there. It's an everyday card, a hello card. We're going to use vellum, some of that beautiful All About Autumn DSP, and very vanilla cardstock and crushed curry. We do have a, for heaven's sakes, there we go. We do have some embellishment in here. I did not leave a sentiment because I feel like this is one of those times when you want to write a little bit more. I think I said that in my last video too. So maybe I'm feeling right now like writing a little bit more to my recipients. This I did for the Paper Players Challenge. I played tic-tac-toe. I don't have the tic-tac-toe in front of me. So, but I know that I got brown and twine. Oh, I just can't remember now. Anyway, that's on my blog too. So check out the blog at stampwithnell.com. All right, so let's go ahead and make the card. I want to tell you that I did do a few things ahead of time because I didn't want to cut or emboss on camera because it shakes the table. And so I went ahead and cut my crushed curry at 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5 1/2, and then folded it in half. Then I used the time warm type. I don't know if you can see this. I'm not seeing I can't tell if you can see it, but it's just a nice kind of random texture. So that is for the front layer of the card, and then of course I have this already stamped piece. I was trying to get a little bit ahead of myself so that we could spend a little bit of time coloring. That's going to be the inside layer. And then we're going to take the this beautiful All About Autumn. I love this knit. I just, when I first saw it, I thought, gosh, how would you ever use that? Well, you use it exactly like this. And we're going to put some vellum over it. We're going to make a crate. So let's get to it. Okay. So the first thing I did was I actually decided where I wanted this DSP, and I adhered it to the front layer, and then I just set it aside. So I'm going to go ahead and just randomly just put it on there a little bit skewed. I'm sorry, this one's kind of empty. We'll go with the one that I know is more full. I had a party on Saturday with some very nice young ladies, and we used a lot of glue. And then once they found out about tear and tape, they were all about the tear and tape. So we're going to skew this just a little, kind of in the center here, and then we're going to put this off to the side. The next thing I'm going to do is we're going to make the crate because I want it to sit for a little while before I, let's just bring all my pieces out here. I have them all in this. I have a tendency to misplace them if I don't put them somewhere. So now, when you read my blog, you'll see what I'm talking about when I say that this is, you would expect that this turns back, but it actually comes forward. This is the side of the crate. It comes forward, as do the bottom tabs. So all of these tabs are going to come forward. And the reason for that is because then it makes this an actual box. So you can slide things in. So I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to just crease these a little. I'm sorry if you hear the dogs breathing. Pixie is our rat terrier has been doing a lot of heavy breathing today, and she was just running around like crazy. So I think she's doing even more heavy breathing now. Okay, so I've got it in the right direction here. So now I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue. I'm a liquid glue fan. I know not everybody is. If you want to use, I think I opened the wrong one again. All right, we're going to put this in the pumpkin so it's not right in front of me. There we go. So just a dot or two, you know, if just a dot or two will do it. What is it? A dab or two will do it? That's on something. That's somebody's slogan. I don't know whose. Sorry, I can't. I'm going to have to ask David to tell me if I get out of the camera range, because I have a tendency, of course, to pull it towards me. We all do when we're trying to craft. So we're just going to put this right here. And there we go. Just press it down on the tabs and hold it. And isn't it beautiful? Let's make it straight so it looks even more beautiful. There we go. All right. So we'll let that sit for a minute. In fact, I'm going to put it off to the side with an acrylic block on the top. And then we're going to work on the let's see. We'll work on the hello. I should have taken all these little things out. Like I said, I cut so that you didn't have to watch that, but I didn't take all the little things out. So I thought today, normally on Fridays, I get off work a little bit early. I usually get off about an hour early. It kind of depends on how things are going and what's happening. If the phones are really busy and whatnot, I'm an office manager at a furniture manufacturing plant. And so I thought we would get off early, so when I set the live, I set it for 6 o'clock. But when I get home at 5 or a little after 5 and still had to make dinner, because that was part of the plan, dinner that has to cook while we're doing this. And so what I'm doing now is I'm taking my hello. I have 3 of them. I cut 3 of them. And the reason I cut 3 is I'm going to stack them. So we're going to take 2 of them and put a little bit of glue on the top. Now you can also, I think I might have used I have multi-purpose glue in a thinner container. So we'll try this one instead. This one works. I know this one works better if I can get it to work. Nope. Okay. Anyway, so I thought I would get off an hour early, and I did not today. So it has that put us under a little bit of time crunch when it came to doing the preparations for the live. Plus, this is the first time that we're streaming live to YouTube. Hello, all you YouTube viewers. Hello, Kelly Ruth. How are you? And so thank you for coming, Kelly. So anyway, first time we're streaming to YouTube, so we'll see how that goes. I'm making kind of a mess here with my glue. Okay. So I would like to let that sit, but we don't really have a ton of time to do that because the coloring is going to take us a little bit. So I'm going to let that one sit. And I'm just placing the hello over the top, and then I just, you just push it into place. And I will use my embossing buddy because clearly I'm going to need it on top of the hello for any residual stickiness that I might have caused with my excessive glue. I would highly recommend one of these bottles. I got that from Amazon, filled with multi-purpose glue. It's, in my opinion, it's extremely valuable in my craft room. But sometimes like that one apparently is a little clogged. I haven't used it in a while, so might have to do a little more glue there. All right, so I just want to shape that into one hello. I like the fact that I could cut it. First of all, I love the script on this, and I wanted to cut it and pop it up a little bit. So that is what we did with this hello. Now that hello is going to go right here at the top of my vellum. So that's that for now. We got our crate is finished, and our crate is going to go right here-ish. We'll see. It's maybe not right exactly there, but we'll see. And so then, let's see, put something down. Oh, I have other pieces. I'm sorry, what, David? Okay.
I'll fix something.
Okay. David's talking to me. I'm thinking, David. Um, so now these two pieces, which go on the side, are, they are, one is smaller than the other. So they do have their own special places to go. I have glue on my fingers, of course. So just want to fit it right where it goes. It's just, I'm not sure if this is the longer or the shorter one. I think this is the longer one. And like this. So I'm just putting them on before I put glue on them because as we saw with the hello, it could get a little messy. Okay, and I'm going to move this hello out of here because I will stick something to it that doesn't need to be stuck. All right, so just putting a little bit of glue on the edges. You don't need very much, especially in the center because the center is open. So I'm just going to glue the edges. And if you can see it, it's enough. I love that phrase. Again, I really wish I knew who said it because it goes through my head now every single time I put glue on something. If you can see it, it's enough. Oh, Pixie, for heaven's sakes. Pixie's our sneezer. That dog sneezes more than any dog. Yes. Thank you, Pixie. She sneezes more than any dog I know. I know that when I'll watch some YouTube card makers, and they'll be talking about their dogs snoring in the in the room, and I can never hear it, but I'm wondering if you can hear Pixie. So if you didn't hear her, she sneezed. So, yes, Pixie, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so I didn't put these on the front of my card last time because I frankly forgot about them. But these are also small little, you know what? Honestly, the adhesive sheets would have been really wise here. Why didn't I use them? Because I forgot. I just didn't. Again, the last minute prep work, I just didn't even think about the adhesive sheets. But that would have been a really wise idea. Yeah, I know. Apparently I bore her, Kelly. She just she's she's like she's sneezing and then she's going to sleep. So there we go. She's left me now. Usually I have some supervisors in here. I guess David's my only supervisor today. Alrighty then. We'll put this on the other side. And beauty. All right. Okay. So we're going to let this dry all again. Should have done that before. All right, so the thing that really takes the most time on this, and depends, of course, on how much time you want to put into it, is, I'm sorry, I'm grabbing my my blends. So the thing that takes the most time is the coloring, and I did cut out two pieces. I was planning to color before y'all got here, but here we are. So we're going to do it a little bit quickly. I'm not going to rush through it too much. That color was Dark Daffodil Delight on the corn. And then this is Light Daffodil Delight. And one of the mistakes that I always make when I color is that I take my blends too far to the end. You really don't want them to go, you don't actually want to reach to the end because it will kind of move itself over to the edges. And if you go to the end like I always do, then you end up with bleeding. And so I am really trying to train myself and then actually I've heard that a little bit of white space isn't a bad thing. But I have never been a great, I've never been a painter, or I've never been good at painting. I've never been great at drawing. So the idea of trying to put color on properly is a little bit foreign to me. So, and I'm just going to go with white space is good. That was Pumpkin Pie Light and Dark. Now I'm going to use Cajun Craze. Yes. We're going to start with light this time. I started with the dark Pumpkin Pie. I don't know what I was thinking, but, and this is light. So is this light? Yeah, it's this light one. Whew. Okay, still it's pretty. I these this year and last year there was a I can't even remember what the one last year was called, but boy those pumpkins they draw me in every time. That pick of the patch pumpkin, oh my gosh, I just love that. And I really love what I'm seeing with people who are doing the different colored pumpkins, the non-traditional colors. I just oh my gosh, I just think they're beautiful. I've seen some really incredible cards like that. So I'm going to use wild wheat. This one is light wild wheat. We're going to do that with the sunflowers. Apparently, I have a sunflower thing going on this week. I had another card that posted on my blog at stampwithnell.com. I was going to give the wrong one, and I entered it in a challenge. Well, I'm sorry, I did a challenge with it and got a shout out, and that was really exciting because that's kind of the first time that's happened to me. Well, not kind of, it is in fact the first time it's happened to me where I mean I think my cards are nice, I think they're pretty, but it doesn't always matter what I'm using. Dark wild wheat now. It doesn't always matter what we think. We still want other people's opinions. Sometimes I do. Sometimes if it's going to be negative, I probably don't want the opinion, but um, so, and then wherever the Stampin' Up! Designers put lines, I will go over those typically with the dark on the leaves. No. So my sunflowers there. Oh yeah, I know that pick of the patch. It's fabulous, Kelly. I am such a fan. I am such a fan. I think I'm gonna do this other one in daffodil again. Um, we'll do it in light. I'm kind of a fan of almost anything pumpkin. We're gonna color a little bit faster here because I don't need to be very precise. Since I'm not a precise colorer, it's probably I tried to I did watercolor this week, and I forget how much I like it because I'm sure there are very precise watercolor people. I am not one of them. Okay, Old Olive, light and dark. I'm going to start with the light on the leaves. I did put shaded spruce on my original card, and then when I went to do the instructions, I realized that or at least it says it's retired in my stamp in in the place where I get all my product information. So I didn't want to use a retired product on this card again. So we're going to do it that way. And then we'll do a bit of, let's go with Granny Apple Grain. It's a little bit much, I think, for ripe corn, but we'll go for it. I'm sorry, dead air. I was at a meeting this week and we were talking about doing live. See, I bled there, but that's okay. I didn't, but the ink did. Okay, so that's done. But I was and we were talking about what do you do when there's dead air? I don't feel like, unless I get inside my head and start coloring, I feel like I could talk through pretty much anything. Okay, so this will fit right in here. And we're just going to put that off to the side because while we have it out, I'm going to finish this really quick like, as Mary would say. So Kelly, did you get the Rustic crate then? You must have. You said you like them both. I actually just got this one. I wanted it, and then I wasn't sure if I wanted it, and I'm gonna use the wrong color. I'm gonna go with put a little bit of wild wheat in here. But I mean, the more I looked at it, the more I thought, yeah, that's gotta come home. I just love the fall colors. So we're gonna color the corn a different color. This corn is older or Indian corn. I'm not sure which. Oh, yeah. See, I mean, that's kind of how I felt about it, Kelly, that I really, I kind of, we talked about the FOMO the other day, fear of missing out. That's kind of how That's kind of how I felt. I was thinking, you know, if I don't get it, I'm going to be sad that I didn't. So, all right, just, whoops, this, I think this is the dark. So we're just going to outline a little here. And I think we have a little bit of a pumpkin back here, so we'll just do some of this. All right, we're almost done with the coloring, which is good. I watched one day, I watched probably the first time I had ever watched a demonstrator color, and I thought, why am I watching this? But it's actually pretty interesting, and people have different, they have different techniques. And so now I know why you watch it. You just kind of, and you're all, obviously you're talking along, so there's at least some entertainment. Okay, so we got the outside done, we got the inside done. Here's our handle and our hello. So we are going to put together the vellum layer. And I'm going to put this, okay, I know for sure I'm going to put this here. And this will require the glue that I put away already. And again, so all of these little pieces with the crate, and even the hello, if you want to do it that way, I highly recommend the adhesive sheets. Next time I'm going to put adhesive sheets on my plan for my card and for anything that's small like this, because it would have been really helpful. Okay, so just a little bit of glue. Doesn't need to be a ton. And we're going to put this right on the vellum, right at the edge. Now this one, before I glue my crate down, I want to know where my handle is going to go. It doesn't have to stay on the vellum. In fact, we could move this over to the other part of the card. But I want to make sure that I because the DSP gets skewed a little bit differently every time. So I like the corner of my crate. I like the bottom even with the vellum and the corner off over here. So, but do I like that? I don't think so. Not today. Not today. All right, so right here. So I'm going to put some glue back here. And we're going to move this out of the way. That's going to be a nice disaster. Oh, good. You can't actually see what I just did. I dropped the crate on my table, glue side down. So, all right. I like liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room, which I need right this minute because I did not put that on straight. There we go. And then a small line of glue down here at the bottom. That's the only place I actually put glue on this crate. And I did put the flowers and the pumpkins in kind of deep. I like it that way. I prefer that they be, you can see them through this little handle right here. But if you don't like it that way, then put it where you like it, right? You don't have to do it exactly the way I do. Although, I know I've talked about this in my last live too, but this party that I had with these young ladies, they were so kind. I would give them their options. Well, you could do this or you could do this, and they would say to me, "Well, I want to do it just like you did." And I thought, well, that's kind of how I feel. There are some people that I look at their cards and I think I want to do it just like they did. So I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to put this back here on the edge. This was a little finicky.
You got a picture?
I have a picture. Oh, I'm out of picture. Oh, yeah, well, that's because it's a little finicky. All right. Okay, it's going to end up off the edge here, and that's okay. We're just going to go with it. We're going to go with it now. There we go. Okay, so the glue for the vellum goes only where it will be hidden. So I tried not to be too crazy over by the hello. Of course, down here at the base of the crate, I could be a little bit more aggressive with my glue. Probably got a little bit happy with it up there. The texture of the knit will help a little bit when it comes to the adhesive. So, okay. So now the crate is all hooked up. And I think all we need are the embellishments. And I am out of the, oh my gosh, those beautiful speckled dots. I am out of those. So we ended up pulling another set of, and I put them in a very special place so that I would be able to find them. And now I cannot put my hands on them. Okay, let's pull something else. All right, we're just going to use the rhinestone basic jewels because there's nothing better than the rhinestone basic jewels when you don't know what to use, right? I think we're going to color them, let's see, well, copper clay. I mean, that seems pretty realistic, doesn't it? That seems like the color we want. All right, this is light copper clay. So I love these jewels because I can color them. I don't know if we actually have anything else that's colorable, although I think we've had some. So 2 small and 1 big is typically my go-to. Not sure why, it's just the way I like it. And then I will use my take your pick tool because this is the most fantastic tool ever. And just place them where they are going to be the shiniest and blingiest. All right. Oops. I don't know what I did there. I'll move that over just a little bit. I think I got a little bit of blends. I should have let them dry a little bit. All right. And then now Stampin' Dimensionals. Life is good with Stampin' Dimensionals. Thank you, Pixie. Pixie's back. Hello, Pixie. So I'm going to trim my dimensionals in half. It's a trick I just learned, and I kind of like it because it gives me twice the dimensionals and still gets my point across when it comes to popping things up. So I am not great with my fingers. They're just not, I don't have any nails. And so my take your pick tool is my favorite thing for putting my dimensionals on. It is absolutely the way to go. All right, oops, took that top off. One of these days I'm going to try that trick where you highlight your the paper on top of your dimensionals so you know what you've got and what you haven't taken off yet. There is when under these lights I can see what I haven't taken off, but I can't always see when I'm just crafting along. But then, you know, they're sticky. I touch them and they're sticky. Okay. So we just put this on. I don't know about you, but I often have trouble getting things straight and centered. So I really try to just aim for the corners. If I get the corners in the corners, I feel like I'm good to go. All right. So the inside, we colored that really quickly. Now, because I'm not going to double layer this, I'm just going to put it in the card. I am going to use Stampin' Seal to put this on. I had heard, and I haven't actually tested this out myself, but because, you know, I've heard it a couple of times, that glue on the layer that you're going to write on isn't a great idea because it can be a little bit bumpy. So I trust that advice, and this is the one time that you're guaranteed to see me use Stampin' Seal. I have it. I'm not a huge seal user, but I always have some on hand for that reason. One of the things I mentioned in my blog is that if you want to pop this up a little bit with a dimensional, you could do that as well. This particular one, I don't think I'm going to because it looks kind of popped up on its own. But now it's time already. It's already time for the envelope. So I have a piece of the DSP cut for the envelope. So I'm just going to use glue because that's what I do. Oh, I may not have cut this big enough. Oh, yes, I did. That 2 1/4 always looks a little tight for me. 2 1/4 by 6 for your envelopes. It always looks a little tight to me. So I am often a little bit more generous than that, but I am right at the edge. Thank you, Kelly. See, now you're going to want the rustic crate. Okay. It's still available. Dun, dun, dun. And actually there's a There is a poinsettia in there. There is some other holiday things. Maybe I'll try to make some holiday cards with it. Okay, there's that. And then the front of the card was pretty simple, although I kind of changed I feel like I changed a little bit, excuse me, what I did from the inside because I didn't want 3 areas with, okay. So this is the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. Whoops, that was the wrong color. We don't want to do that one in black. We want to do, we want to do the crate in crumb cake. So we'll just clean that off. A simple, no mistake here. And there we go. Of course, I stuck my thumb in the ink. Now, I made a mistake when I did the first one. When I did the original, this one here, and you can see that for some reason, I stamped the crate up really high. So I'm going way down here this time, way down at the bottom, right where it belongs. And that, again, was crumb cake ink. Now I want my Memento ink for the floral portion of it. And, excuse me, sorry, I should have brought a drink in with me. So I am going to mask off, and I just use a piece of a Post-it note or a piece of Post-it note tape. And I just lay it over the, let me make sure I get this edge over here. Just lay it over where I stamped the crate. And I don't necessarily want all of the, this image is the foliage. I don't actually want all of it, so I'm going to just stamp down quite a bit. And, whoops, that didn't work. Oh, sorry, I got to stand up and see if I can do this again. I should be able to since it's photopolymer, but I am not very good at that part. There we go. I think that's it. It's my fault because I didn't, oh no, I didn't put the, totally my fault because I didn't put the pad underneath it. All right, we'll try one more time. See if I can just get it right. So, well, that's better. Since we're going to color it, I'm not going to worry too much about it. It just, it looks like, in my opinion, it looks like when I stamp off and use the, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine, or we'll get another envelope. But I think if I color it in darker colors, it'll be fine. That's one of those things that I have to practice is how do I double stamp, because the only time I've ever been able to do that is when I was using the Stamparatus. And so now that we're not using the Stamparatus, it's kind of a bummer. All right, let's look for bring out some Cajun Craze. All right, and let's do more. I don't remember what color I colored these little guys here. We're going with Cajun Craze again. Yes, this is where I purport to be an expert, but really not so much. I might have been better off just stamping a little section of the top there. All right. Instead of trying to re-stamp it 3 times, because that didn't work very well. Especially right here. You know what? I'm going to go with it. It's a handmade card. It is a creative choice. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm sticking to. It's a creative choice. Okay, so there we go. There is our Rustic Crate card, our Hello card. Good for everyday use. I hope that you make it. I hope that you send it right as soon as you make it, and so that you don't end up with big stacks of cards that are beautiful but unsent. So this is Nell Thames. Thank you very much for stopping by and visiting with me today. Kelly, I appreciate you being here, and everybody else who is here. I can't see the YouTube comments, so if there's any comments in YouTube, I can't see them. Thanks so much. Have a great day. This is Nell Thames, Stampin' Off.